Hello again. Like I said, I wanted to review Jamie Sam's decks. I already did the Sacred Path cards, which is my favorite deck. But this time I'm going to be reviewing the Medicine cards, also by Jamie Sams, of course. And just like with the Sacred Path cards, I got this deck from a friend, so I don't have the packaging that it came in. You can find it on Amazon, eBay, at a bookstore, pretty much anywhere. It's just that the decks that she has produced are not as popular as, like, say, Doreen Virtue, so they are not usually readily available. You actually have to order them. But they are still being printed, which is nice. So if you're willing to put in the effort, they're very easy to come by. So what I did was I just made a little, I knitted a cover for them, and I picked the colors that were on the cards. These cards are about the same, they are the same size as the Sacred Path cards, so they're a little bit wider than traditional tarot cards, but they are significantly longer. They're probably about 1.5 inches, 2 inches longer than traditional tarot cards. So, and they're all this really pretty blue with a lightning bolt down the back, which looks exactly the same in the reverse, because she actually did include reversals with this deck. Where her Sacred Path cards is all about, it's different symbols and aspects of Native American culture and spirituality. This deck is all about animals, and our animal spirit guides are power animals, totem animals, just our animal teachers, helpers, whatever you want to call them. So the guidebook that comes with the deck looks like this. It's a pretty hefty little guidebook. It is, let's see, where's the last page? It is about 246 pages long, so it's shorter than the guidebook for the Sacred Path cards, but, excuse me, oh my goodness, the typeface in here is a little bit smaller, so I would guess that it's got about the same amount of information. It's just been basically condensed into a smaller format. So, in here, of course, we've got the table of contents, and she's got a list of the cards and what page they're on. So when you're doing a reading, if you need to look up, if you need to look up a specific card, then you can just go right to it. There are 52 cards in this deck, which is a little bit more than the other one, but there are millions of species of animals on the planet, so I understand why she didn't make it like a 200 card deck, you know. So she's got the acknowledgments, of course, and a wonderful introduction, which she kept very short but sweet and effective. And then she's got a section on animal medicine, what it is and how you can use it, the healing powers of animal medicines. Like I said, the typeface in this book is smaller, so she actually has just as much information. It's just kind of condensed down. And then she has this wonderful thing right here. This is one of the best things I have ever encountered for working with totem animals and animal guides. Here she says that each and every person has 9 power or totem animals that represent the medicine they carry in their earth walk. And she has a wonderful little spread designed with the 7 directions, and then of course right side, left side, which isn't actually on here, for discovering which animals are walking with you, which medicines are with you. And I can't remember if it's in this book or in another one of her books, But she explains that these animals can be ones that we are familiar with, that we already know about, or they could be like shadow totems. So the medicines that we are afraid to take responsibility for, or that we just aren't aware are there. And the actual layout of that spread kind of explains what each one is to you, which is kind of cool. And then she has an explanation of what the medicine wheel is and the medicine shield. And then she goes right into card spreads. And she has, I think it's 6 different spreads in here. And while there's not really any imagery like there was with the Sacred Path cards, she does have images where you can actually see how the cards are laid out, which is really nice. I think there's only one in here that doesn't have the image with it, but it's like 3 or 4 cards, so there's really no wrong way to lay it out. So after the card spreads, she actually includes a section on contrary cards, or reversed cards. All throughout the book, she refers to reversals as contrary cards. Jamie Sams works very closely with Coyote Spirit, and you can really see it in her writing. Whether it's something like this, or if it's an actual book, which she has published several different novels or books. Well, they're not novels, they're spiritual self-help kind of books. But she did something very unique with this deck, in that she included blank cards. She included 9 blank cards with this deck. And here she has an entire section on why she included them and how you can use them. Which basically she included them so you can add different motifs or different animals to the deck that aren't already in it. So you can more or less personalize the deck, which is really, I think that is one of the coolest things any author can do, is to put the deck in the hands of the user or the buyer and allow them to make it their own. I just think it is really awesome. So from there, we go right into the card meanings. And just like with the Sacred Path cards guidebook, we have a reproduction image of what is on the card, and like a little prayer poem that she wrote for each animal. And then we've got the number, the name of the animal, and then a keyword. The keywords are not actually printed on the cards, which is a little... It's kind of a pain in the butt when you're first starting to work with the cards, but the more that you work with them, the easier it becomes to remember what each one represents. So she's got the message for it being upright, and then down here she'll have it if it appears in the reverse, the contrary message of the card. And she does that with all 52 cards. And then here at the end of the book, if I can get there, she has included, as you can see I've used it, a little notes section so that if you add cards or if you want to write down your readings, you can do so. And so I think that this guidebook is just as good as the guidebook for the Sacred Path cards. Like I said, I'm just a really big fan of Jamie Sam's work because it's very true, very honest. She manages somehow to make very difficult subjects very easy to comprehend and very applicable to your everyday life. So let me go ahead and show you some of the artwork that is on these cards. Like I said, each one is done as a shield. As you can see, I taped the keywords down here, but that's not typically on the card. Like that's frog, beautiful, an owl, I just think this one is so cute. porcupine. And here's one of my totems. Link's Secrets. So, every card is done up in this particular manner, and yet somehow they all look completely different. The different wildcats look different, you know, from one another. Hawk and Eagle look totally different from one another. And each of these cards just has a very unique energy to it. Each one carries the energy of the animal it represents, and I personally can feel that. And everybody that I know that has touched these cards says the exact same thing, that you can feel the different animal energies in this deck, which is wonderful. Especially if it's your first deck for working with animals. You know, animal spirits, guides, all of that. Jamie Sams actually created the Sacred Path cards after she made the medicine cards, and so she kind of made them to be used together, which I think is incredible. Using the two together, I've gotten very good, very accurate, and very helpful readings for myself and for other people. The cards are a little bit flimsy, but they are sturdy enough to withstand readings. If you like to riffle your cards, to shuffle them, my suggestion would be to do it from the corners of these cards, to bend right here and just do it from the corners, because I've actually torn these cards before trying to riffle shuffle them, because they are very, very thin, as you can see. But they are absolutely gorgeous. This is my favorite animal deck, and I have quite a few animal decks. I'm just very impressed with the work and the dedication and just the love that Jamie Sams puts into her decks. The guidebooks and the cards themselves, it just amazes me. She has pretty much every animal kingdom covered in this deck. Insect, we've got ant and beetle. We have spider. Rodents, we've got mouse, badger, weasel. For birds, we've got grouse right here, hawk and eagle. Elk and buffalo are in here. Dog is in here. I know wolf is in here somewhere. Let's see. Turkey, deer. Yep, and here's coyote. And horse. This card is just beautiful. It always reminds me of the movie Spirit. Bat and rabbit. Oh, there's wolf. This is just gorgeous. So, butterfly and swan. Let's see, here's hawk. Whale is in this deck somewhere. We've got lizards, or lizard on this card. Snake is in here. Here we have a dolphin. I mean, she has members from every part of the animal kingdom in this deck, which I think is incredible, because some of the animal decks that you'll find they represent more of one part of the animal kingdom than another. Like mammals over birds, or insects over sea life, you know. But this deck is pretty well balanced, I think. And the fact that you can actually add animals to it, because she includes those blank shield cards, is just, this is one of the best animal decks. This is the best animal deck that I have ever worked with. So, like I said, you can find it on Amazon, on eBay, you can find it at a bookstore. They'll probably have to order it in for you, though, just because the deck's not as popular as some of the other decks that are out today. So, that is my review. I love this deck, and I'm hoping if you can get your hands on it, that you'll give it a try. So, I will hopefully see you again next time.